Hello, everyone. Tonight, I just wanted to do a little bit about my style in the way I do photographs. We're going to jump screens a little bit today, so hopefully this will be smooth. We're going to start off with this picture. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you know that this started out as a very washed out picture. And it's easy for that to occur because you're dealing with a um image that is, to all intents, in a situation where the photographer had no control over lighting. And when you don't have any control over lighting, you have to make the modifications with your camera. And this is something that's a little bit more difficult to do if you are using a uh, cell phone. For me, there's three things that I could do. Now, as you've seen from other images, I like having, and you'll see today, I like having that blurry background so that the subject pops out. However, when you've got a lens that allows for that blurry background, you can take a look at my video on f-stops. To get that means that the lens has a lot of light it can let in, which when you've got too much light to begin with, makes it worse because you've let in more light. However, there's three pieces to the puzzle for that. The first is the f. Well, we know I'm going to want to turn that down to an f2 if I can get it, and an f1.8, 2.8, somewhere where I get that very shallow depth of field so that all the equipment in the background is completely blurred out. The other thing, however, is you can change the shutter speed. The faster the shutter clicks, the less light it gets in because it's open for less time. And you can change the ISO. Now, ISO may come into play if there's too little light. But ISO for a photo like this, I probably wouldn't go below 400. Might go to 200, probably keep it around 400. Um, so now I'm going to up that shutter speed so that I get less light in, so that I get that, um, I get rid of that washed out look. But when I've got a picture that's washed out, you can see that it can be brought back as long as the detail is still there. And the better the megapixels on the camera, the more detail there is to work with, obviously. But you can see with this image here that we were able to bring back and then to retouch to bring the muscles back. Again, everything was washed out, so all the shadow of the muscle went away, and bringing the color back, it still needed to be enhanced. My partner had wanted a uh, image of herself put in a display case with her trophy. I was going to rig it up so that we had a good sized picture of her, plus her trophy, plus the suit that she wore, and put it in like a shadow box type setup. She wanted black and white. Now, in general, I like color. But if you look at this, it's kind of washed to begin with. But look at the difference when we switch to black and white. Look at how much more powerful the image looks. Yeah, can't get it a little bit better, but you can see how powerful an image that is. And you can see side by side, the image on the right just looks more outstanding than the one on the left. So while they're both kind of snapshot-ish, the one on the right to me looks more like a cover photo that you'd see on a magazine. He's looking down, sands in the pockets, and you got that black and white to just bring it out. And I think even the black and white helps to bring out the definition of his muscles even more. What we're going to do now is I've got a couple of pictures of my partner. I don't put these up on the site um, because I don't have permission from the photographer to post them as such. So let's change over screens here. Now, as I've said before, I have a tablet that is a display in and of itself, and that allows me to draw directly on the screen. So here's one of the images that she wanted to have, and we were going to change to black and white. I've enhanced it a little, but I want you to see what a difference that background blurring has. So see, as soon as I blur the background, she pops out much, much better. She becomes more of a focus. You turn it back off, and you can see it's just so busy, she kind of fades into it. We pop it back on, and she's the focus. I also blurred just a little bit so that around her hair was a little bit blurred. So the overall effect is to pull her out of that image, which I think shows her off much more. Now, another image that she liked was a shot from behind. She spent a lot of time working out, um, improving her quads and her glutes. And she was very proud of the amount of weight that she could lift and how she was able to sculpt that area of her body. So, what we're going to look at now is an enhanced image of that, because what happens there is the fact that the way that the lighting was, etc., just blurred out the image. So I'm going to give you a quick comparison here before we go into the next image, so you can see side by side what I'm talking about. And there it is. This is a little oversaturated on the side here. Um, and the background isn't blurred, but you can see the difference of how this is not as sharp a distinction as we have over here. And you'll see that even better when we move on to the um, next photograph that I'm working on here. So we're going to start off with that image, black and white. And there's different ways you can go to black and white. Black and white is more than just removing um, color from it. But you can see that in black and white, you can see how much more detail there is